Hello, welcome back to another segment in excerpts from A Spiritual Ascension. So, I wanted to talk about finding your community, which probably may seem like a simple thing to do. Um, if you are an extrovert, you may be used to going out there and being able to meet people, and it's no problem. The thing is, even if you are an extrovert, going through this process, the way you see people, the way people approach you is going to change dramatically. So for me, I was always very introverted. And I grew up, because of the way I grew up, being very secluded within my family, within the religion I was brought up in. I went to trust. I trusted everyone to my detriment. And I thought no one would lie to me, that no one would deceive me in any way. So I always had a very hard time, even as I got older, breaking away from that belief that everyone is good. And until, of course, people hurt you. But I think also part of me as a Sagittarius always has that optimistic viewpoint of the world that there are good people out there in some way. Going through this journey, um, and seeing my family, my good friends, my relationships that ended up really becoming extremely hurtful, even family becoming abusive to me. I kind of had to go into this protective mode. And you may, resonate with that, where at all costs, you're protecting your, not so much it was a thing of protecting my body, from physical harm. Like no one has ever, except for my mother, but no one has ever laid their hands on me. But it was more of an emotional, mental, um, financial abuse for me. And because our light shines so brightly, we're going to trigger others. And there's going to be people that are attracted to you and they don't know why, but they're going to come towards you, probably try to become friends with you. And for me, because I still always had that people pleasing type of um, way about me, going through this journey, I became very defensive. So even now on the other side, I'm learning to not so much put down the defenses, but as your intuition grows, you'll know the right people that come towards you. And also, spirit, the divine, God, however you address your higher um, universe, however you address your higher source, is going to send you the right people. Um, a lady, a neighbor nearby, she actually came up to me and she, said, "Oh, I see you, and let's get together, have coffee one day." She said, "There's something about you. There's some synchronicity of us meeting." And I was like, "Oh my goodness!" Not too many people use the word synchronicity, unless you have some kind of spiritual base. Um, And I said, okay, that's the universe like sending me this person. Because now it's kind of like even people I have approached in the past who I thought would be a good friendship for me or a good relationship in some way kind of drew me in, but then ended up in a way kind of stabbing me in the back in some way. And I'm like, here we go again, like it happened again. So understanding that as you go through this transition, for the most part, the first half of your journey is going to be one of deleting out everything from your previous life. Um, People, situations, material aspects, everything. Um, Again, that may not hold true for everyone, but in most cases, if you are on this journey, that's going to happen to you. About midway through, you're going to find yourself kind of alone. Okay. And for really the next two years. So my journey was for 5 years. The first 2.5 years, I was surrounded by people and family, friends, people that I needed to detach from. And then there was people that were on my journey to kind of help me get through it. Midway through, I found myself alone. That was October, yeah, October of 2023. So when I found myself completely alone. And this is when the universe and you are going to become the best of friends because the universe now wants you to, let's say, rely on it, but teaching you to speak the language between you and the universe. Whatever symbolisms that your symbols or synchronicities that are going to happen, that the universe uses to speak with you, is going to be established during that time. And I know I was alone for almost a year before people actually, any relationships started to come back in. But that's when you kind of start this period of the end is going to be the toughest because that's the spiritual warfare period. And for almost a year's period, I had to go through this kind of things with relationships of people who had come into my life, who had been attracted to me attracted to them in some way. But it was for the sense of them. And the funny thing about it, too, both of these people seem to be very spiritual. So that's why I was like attracted to, wanting to be friendly with them. And they also, too, in return. But understand that everyone who walks and says that they are spiritual is not of the light. And that's what I had to learn because these two people were both working from dark ends. And so that I think I just did a video on that as far as dealing with spiritual warfare. And it's really done in the ethers. And that was a really, really hard and tough time. And it's kind of like once that ended, Spirit has given me this grace period of now it's finally done. It's finally over. You've graduated from this 5-year ascension journey, and your rewards come in after this. So I've been blessed in big ways. But I know I'm working still, working on myself and working on my confidence and working on who is the right fit to come into my life now because I don't want anyone who was um, had any kind of aspects of the old. I want only people who are going to bring me joy and happiness and um, there be an equal give and take in the relationship. So hopefully you kind of understand that. But for those of you on your journey, know that if you are now still on your journey, relationships are going to be iffy, okay? And you're going to probably be in this defensive mode. And I felt like I still always have this shield up, and I'm trying to bring that down. But it's not so much of taking it completely down, but using your intuition to know who is the right people to come into your life and who to keep away. All right. I'm going to leave it there. If you'd like to spend time with me, book time with me, there's a link below. Also, just remember, I am a psychic medium and a tarot reader. So if you would like a reading, um, that's a possibility. And I also have several courses on the ascension process, and that link is also below. So please like, share, and subscribe, and I will see you next time.